Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my monthly TBR jar. I'm picking my books for March today, so I'm very excited. I loved doing this last month, so hopefully I get some good fun new prompts this month. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe down below. I post every single Wednesday and sometimes Sundays. I should be posting my February wrap-up on Sunday this week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Before we get started, I just have a couple books I want to put out there. The first two are the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store and the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society. These two are currently tied on my book club poll for our March picks, so I'm gonna try to find a way to put both of these on my TBR, mostly because I really want to read both of them, so whichever one gets picked for book club, obviously I'll have to read that one, but I'd like to read the other one as well. So these two will almost definitely be going on my TBR. The other two books are the first Throne of Glass books. I think I'm gonna start Throne of Glass this month, but I'm not gonna put these on my actual TBR unless I get a good prompt for the first one, but I've been thinking about doing it for a while. I'm almost done another fantasy series right now, so I want to finish that one up and then I can get into this one. So these are the four books that are tentatively going on, but we will pick, I think probably 7 sounds like a good number since I have those ones already, but maybe I'll pick 8 if I get prompts that match with those. So got my jar right here. If I pick one that I picked in the last month, I think I will just pick a different one. I don't really want to do the same prompt twice. I don't think that's as fun. Okay, number 1. A wild card prompt. Okay, I put some in here that had no words on them, so if I had a book I wanted to pick, I could just use this one for it. So I'm gonna save this one until the end, and then I will pick my wild card based on what I pick for the other ones. Read a book by an author you've read and enjoyed before. Okay, so if you remember from last time I did this, my main goal is to read books off of my top TBR for 2024 and my bookshelf, so my physical TBR. So I'm gonna look on my bookshelf first. I know exactly which one I'm choosing. This is both on my top TBR and on my bookshelf. I just bought this book last weekend because it's on my top TBR for this year. And this author wrote the book Homegoing, which is one of my all-time favorite books ever. Got this at Barnes & Noble on the buy one get one half off table. So this is definitely an author I've loved and enjoyed before, and it's a pretty quick book, so I'm really excited about this one. This looks like a story about family and science, and to be honest, I'm just really confident I'm gonna like it because I loved her other books so much. So that's as much as I'm gonna learn about this book going into it. Read a book that is young adult. Okay, I'm gonna have to look on my Goodreads for this. I've actually been kind of in the mood to read a young adult book recently because I feel like they're always fun and quick and fast paced. So I don't have any that are on my actual bookshelf, but I do have some on my Goodreads list. I was just looking on Goodreads under the YA list to see if there were any titles that jumped out at me, and Throne of Glass is on there. I think this is an interesting one. I know that Sarah J Maas's series have been previously categorized as YA and then moved to adult as the series go on, specifically ACOTAR, because those get very graphic towards the end, and they're definitely not YA books, but I think this one is considered a YA book, so I'm going to use that to include this on my TBR as my YA book. This is an 8, I think, book fantasy series. What I've heard from everybody is that you shouldn't know anything going into this book. That way it will make your experience better. So I don't know what this book is really about. I know that it's about an assassin. I know that there's war involved. I know that it's fantasy. Anyway, this is my YA book. Read a book by an author from another country. Okay, I think I definitely have someone on here. For this book, I'm going to choose 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini. Looks like this author was born in Afghanistan. This is by the same author as The Kite Runner, which is on my TBR for February. You'll have to see my February wrap-up video to see if I read that book or not. It looks like this book is about an arranged marriage that happens during the war in Afghanistan, and it's about family and friendship and love. That's what I got from the summary. So all I know is I've heard fantastic things about this book, and I am very, very much looking forward to reading it. All right, this one says, read a book that has flowers on the cover. I feel like I should be able to figure one of those out. I'm going to choose The Color Purple. My edition of this book has a flower on the cover. I have surprisingly never read this, and obviously it's like a classic. It's been on my list for a while. I have read another book by Alice Walker that was sort of like a poetry book that I really, really enjoyed, especially with the new movie that came out last year. I really wanted to read this and watch that. So I'll be adding this to my TBR, and I'm pretty sure this is on my top TBR for 2024. It may not be, but I kind of think I put it on there. But anyway, this one's been on the top of my list for a while, so I'm gonna choose this one. Only a couple more, because then I have to do my wild card to pick. This prompt is read a book that is a poetry collection, and the one I'm going to choose is No Landing, and this is actually by my boyfriend's brother. He wrote it and I think won a contest to work with a publishing company to get it published, and I've had it now for like over a year and I still haven't read it. So I would really, really like to read this. I have heard him read some of the poems at like an event, and they all sounded really, really cool and smart. So I'm excited to read this. Because that's a poetry book, I'm gonna pick 8 books total, because that one will be quick. Okay, read a book that has a book on the cover. Oh god. How will I know? Okay, this one counts because there are books right here. This book is called The Air Raid Book Club. I got this at a bookstore I was at on vacation once that had arcs. Like if you bought a book, you could get an arc. So this has since come out. It was scheduled to come out last July, but I haven't read it yet. And it's a historical fiction book about a book club, and it has books on the cover, so I'm gonna choose this one. I've been really wanting to read a book about books recently, so hopefully this satisfies that craving. The prompt I picked is a book picked by my sister, so I'm gonna call her right now and see if she picks up. Hi. Say hi. Okay, love you. Bye. Okay guys, just got off the phone with my sister. Took her through my whole bookshelf, and she chose Unsheltered by Barbara Kingsolver. I've had this book for a little while, and I've read a Barbara Kingsolver book a long time ago. I think I read the Poisonwood Bible, or I read Animal Dreams, one of those ones, but I read it in middle school and it all like went completely over my head. So I'm excited to read a book by her now that I'm an adult and will actually be able to like process what's going on in the book. So my sister said she loves Barbara Kingsolver, and this is the book she chose. What my sister was saying is it sounds like it's a book set in 2 different time periods about these 2 families, but they lived in the same house, obviously at different times. And I think from what I remember, I listened to a podcast about this, I think from what I remember, they're both going through sort of like tumultuous times in life. One of them is definitely like heavily implied Trump era. I don't know if the other one is in the future or in the past, but they're like 2 different timelines. Different families, but the same neighborhood, same house. So I really like the concept of this. I think it'll be really good. I'm hoping to find the audiobook for this. I've been definitely like in longer books leaning towards listening to them on audiobook. This one isn't too, it's like $4.50 it looks like, but it's like a big book, so it will be longer than that. But anyway, so now that I picked these, I have my wild card pick left, and I didn't have anything that I could use for either of these books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wild card to add both of these to my TBR, and whichever one is my book club pick, I'll read that one first and then I'll read the other one next. So I guess I have a pretty big TBR this month. Let's quickly go through. First one I picked is a book by an author you read and really enjoyed. So I chose Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Gyasi. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name. Book 2 was a YA book, so I chose Throne of Glass. This is gonna be like, I'll read this book and then maybe the rest of the books if I really get into it. The next book is a book by an author from another country, so I chose A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalida Sini, and this author's from Afghanistan, and this book is also set in Afghanistan, so I think this will be an interesting read. Book 4 was a book of poetry, so I chose No Landing, and this is by Isaiah Hines. This is my boyfriend's brother, as I said, so this will probably be a sit down in the afternoon and read book, or maybe I will take it throughout the month and read little bit by little bit. So you'll have to make sure you subscribe so you can see my March wrap up when I post it in a month, so you can see when I read this and all these other books. Next book is a book with a book on the cover, so I chose the Air Raid Book Club. I'm really excited to read this one because I've been really craving some historical fiction reads and also a book about books, so hoping this one is as good as it sounds. Next book was a book with a flower on the cover, so I chose The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I haven't read this book ever, so I'm excited to finally read it. The next one was a book that my sister chose. She chose Unsheltered by Barbara Kingsolver. So this is book 7. And then the last book is going to be either the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store or the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society, whichever one my book club poll chooses. Right now they're tied 6-6, so again, you'll have to stay tuned to find out which one wins. Alright guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you've made it this far, you should definitely subscribe. I'm posting another video this Sunday, so you want to make sure you get notified of that. Comment down below some books that are in your March TBR, and I will see you guys next time. Bye friends!